All right, it's Ronnie on the spot. Chris Curtis and the Sandman from the inside out. We're coming at you right now. So before we even get going with anything, right? Somebody told me about this razor. It's got the H on it, right? They make them in Germany. They used to. And then the Americans bought it back and all of that, man. And I love my country, but sometimes they can fuck a good thing up. And so I got me one of these, so-called bomb ass razors, and went in there and tried it for the first time, cut half my fucking chin off. Damn thing won't stop bleeding. So answer the question. I put all I had in here in the trailer right here afterward, I got over here and it's still bleeding, the lidocaine patch. So I just stuck it on there, right? And we'll see how that goes. So that's what that is. I don't have to hear about it in the comment section. Oh, what's that on your chin? Oh, what's on your chin, stud? Huh? These nuts, right? Anyway, so just playing. Here's the get down. Some stuff's happened, right? And in the joint. And weird dichotomy of individuals stabbed somebody in the brand. Somebody had a name in the brand and was well known. And I'll just read you the little get down right here, right? Reputed Aryan Brotherhood leader stabbed to death in state prison. A reputed leader of the Aryan Brotherhood prison gang was stabbed to death last week at Salinas Valley State Prison in Monterey County, authorities said. Todd Fox Morgan, 57, was attacked Thursday morning in a recreation yard by 3 inmates. Officials from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation said in a statement, authorities identified the assailants as Todd Gibbons, 56, Ray Walden, 51, and Robert England, 61, and who have all been previously convicted of murder. Okay, so Gibbons, a member of the Nazi lowriders, a white gang subordinate to the Aryan Brotherhood, was sentenced to death by a Tulare County judge for murdering a fellow Nazi lowrider and his sister in 2001. That's Stomper, right? He's setting their bodies on fire, according to the court records. So I just did a trip not too long ago on Vice TV, which is now owned by Annie, and it was about Nazi lowriders. And you see me on there if you went on it. It's United Gangs Across America, and an hour-long special thing right there, and it was episode 8, Nazi lowriders. So, and it was a lot about Todd Gibbons and his trip and all of that, and it was a lot about, has the ride gone away, and do I think the ride will be back? I don't think the ride ever left. Okay, in fact, I know a few things. In any event, so there's Todd Gibbons, man, and that's lowrider. He's in on the killing, and strange bedfellows here. Walden, who was from the Mongols Motorcycle Club, is serving a life sentence for shooting to death and association of a rival's Hells Angels outside an El Cajon, California bar in 2003. Okay, now, well, there's that. So there's a Mongol. There's Nazi lowrider, there's a Mongol. Come on down. England, in prison since 1993 for a San Bernardino County murder, was said in a law enforcement report to belong to the Heshings Motorcycle Club before going to prison. The motive for the Morgan's homicide is unclear. The law enforcement source, who wasn't authorized to speak publicly, said authorities weren't previously aware Morgan was in bad standing with the other members of the Aryan Brotherhood. Look, so these guys did not move on that dude, right? Stomper didn't hit that dude, that brand member, without Stomper's all right for making that move, right? So this was, there's their politics. I'm not going to get in the middle of it. And Stomper's a rider, all right? There's a lot said about, the riding on the line, the riding this, riding. Hello. Come on now. They are there. Just because you ain't rubbing shoulders or bumping shoulders or anything else with them, because you ain't there on the yard with them at any particular time, doesn't mean they don't exist. So I keep trying to tell guys say, back in 1922, I was in such and such, and this is the way things go. No, it's not. All that shit went out in 1923. You know what I mean? It's things change. They change, man. They change overnight in the system, right? Different things going on. Anyway, so there's that, and that dude got killed. And I can tell you this, I just paroled from New Folsom. That's where I paroled from, okay, B-Yard. And when I first got there, I was coming out of the hole in Soledad, people said I smacked them around and whatnot, and they told on me, and that's what happened. And I was in the hole, so I got shipped there, and I got slammed. So I'm in the hole. I go out to the yard, and the cop's sitting there, and I tell him, "Hey, who's here?" I just got. He goes, "Everybody's here." And I go, "What do you mean by that?" He goes, "Well," and he was a red kind of cop, right? He's a good dude, and we've been talking to him. He's all right. And he goes, "Well, everybody at the trial from the trials are here." I go, "Yeah." So how those guys doing, man? What's going on with them? And he says, "Man," he goes, "it's weird the way they act towards each other." He goes, they act like they don't trust each other, like they thinks everybody else is telling on them. And he goes, "It's just a weird thing going on, man." And it just seemed like a weird thing. It was a weird atmosphere back there at that time. They were all on whatever get down they were on, man, but they sure didn't trust each other, right? And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's things you start connecting dots when you don't know something. Next thing you end up you're drawing a fucked up picture. Dot to dot doesn't always work unless you have all the facts. We don't know what was said. We don't know about timing. We know that a lot of things happen. All of a sudden, nobody, all of a sudden everybody's on the death penalty case. All of a sudden, nobody's got the death penalty. All of a sudden, John Stinson has a whole bunch of murders. All of a sudden, they're saying this about that and the other thing. So you see what I'm saying about connecting dots? You can start connecting dots. And if one piece of information is wrong, instead of going this way, your dot went this way, you're 180 degrees out of fucking whack, and you're running around with bad info, man. So I don't want to connect the dots on all of that. There's just a whole lot going on with them dudes. And wow, what a life, right? Huh? What a fucking life, man. I guess it's for some people. It's not for me anymore. I'm on the big yard. You know what I mean? I'm out here and I'm playing catch up. Yeah, because I lived a stupid life, most of my destructive and disjointed life. And I'm here to play catch up. So anyway, that's a current events with them dudes, man. And they're taking hits, they're taking hard hits. And it's been my experience, man, that when they're taking these hits and they got this going on, this internal stuff going on, that's when the feds come in and they come down hard, man. They hit them with another RICO act to try to put all this other shit on them, man. And fuck, they hit you and they get you, they shake them up. So the ride is around. The ride will always be around. And the ride is a big tip. People say, well, you're talking about new lowriders and all of that, right? No, aren't you going to have an issue with the letters from your old comrades? No, actually, I'm not. There may be a couple of them that don't like it. Oh, well, I'm here. I'm not hard to find. It is what it is. I want a spot for my comrades that get out of prison and want to try to do something different and stay out, to be able to come and say, hey, you know what? You don't got to debrief. You don't got to turn your back on your brothers, and you don't got to do all of that to get out here and do something good. And we can build a thing out here that helps society, helps kids, at-risk youth, helps a lot of fucking people, and have a place for our brothers to come when they finally get with their old ladies and they say, you know what? Let's do this over here, man. I want to stay out with my kids and my wife this time. And we're going to help them. And we're going to help them. And look, here's the thing, right? You can do all of that stuff and still be a grown-ass man. You don't have to go and hang your nuts up on some bulletin board somewhere and say, here you go, change your pronoun and be a bitch about it. You ain't got to. I can still help these kids out. I can still do everything. I can still help veterans, disabled vets. I can still train the dogs up and do the whole nonprofit and everything and whoop a motherfucker's ass if he makes me feel like it needs to be done. I'm a grown man. I'm not turning around and being something different than that. I came up in a time where you had a problem with somebody at school. You took them after school and you whooped on them, or they whooped on you, and you shook hands and they became your best friend 2 weeks later. That's where I grew up. You got a beef with somebody, you handle your fucking business. All right. So I'm saying this. New lowriders, yeah, there's going to be a part of this gig right here, this get down, where guys don't have to do all that bullshit the Department of Correction wants to make them do. They can come out here, they can do some good for society, they can spend some time with their wife and kids, and they don't have to turn on their comrades because a big chunk of their comrades are right here ready to embrace them and do the right thing and know, trust, and believe. There's a lot of riders that want to do this thing. Not just want to, they are doing it because I'm helping them fucking do it. Yeah. And this, like I said, is the big yard, you know? I don't want to be part of something where, you know, got cordless. All right. A lot of people like to do, a lot of people didn't. Whatever. Rest in peace. He got the cut, got in, and gets out of prison with a rock. He's that guy. And he dies in a garage alone, broke, and overdosed. Okay. Wow. What kind of power is in that? You know, what kind of ending is that for a guy who spent his whole life trying to make it to a certain level, gets there and dies with nothing? You know, that's not what I want. I want my brothers, the dudes that I would have laid my life down for in there for the longest, that want to get out here and do the next right fucking thing. I'm going to help them do it. But I'm not going to tell them, hey, you know what? You got to act like a bitch. You can't defend your honor. You got to turn into somebody you can't look yourself in the fucking mirror when you wake up. No, I want to do this in a way that my comrades who want to come and do this thing can stand proud. Can stand proud. And everybody would know that, you know, those guys are doing this and they're helping a lot of people in a lot of ways and they're doing all this good stuff. Don't fuck around and get fatfoed. You know what I mean? You get fucking fatfoed. You find out that, you know what? Once somebody had it, they always got it. It's always there. Look at these old dudes that spent all that time in the joint and the hole and all of that, got all these stab-ins and got all that shit, you know, in the rearview mirror. And they're out here, they're going to church, they become Christians, they're living a good life, they're doing this and that. And I used to be guilty of the same thing. Yeah, look at them lames, look at them, they did this and that. Those dudes ain't lames. You back one of them motherfuckers into a corner and it's going to get ugly and bad. Guarantee you they haven't forgotten. They've never gotten too old to do it, you know, and they will stack the deck and do some fucked up shit. I got friends that say, hey, yeah, they shot this dude in the fucking back of the head, fucking coward move and all that. I don't call that guy a coward. You know what I call the guy? Alive. Okay. I call him waking up in the morning while the other guy's not. I call him the winner. I don't care how he got to that destination. He survived it. The other guy didn't. Whether it was his earlobe, his armpit, the back of his head, whatever it was, you know, I don't call them dudes cowards. But that's neither here nor there. Not to that point in life either. I might, and know this though, right? While I'm still willing to get down for my honor, for the protection of my family, for self-preservation, first and foremost, I'm going to try to avoid it. If I can avoid it, if I can get through an issue politically or just with reason, I'm going to do that. Whereas violence used to be my first and only recourse for a long, long time. It's my last recourse now. It's when I've tried every other way to avoid doing something bad to somebody. Well, I then turn, I have to feel physically threatened. I have to feel like, you know what, it's him or me, you know, them or me. And if I feel like that, somebody have mercy on that motherfucker because I'm coming full force. And I've been known to have a lot of force. So we know. All right. Anyways, having said that, I will be taking a trip pretty soon, going across several states and interviewing several people. I'm going to try to bring you a live interview with Gangster Maurice. I'm going to try to bring you a live interview with Snake Bridge. I'm going to get back with Junior, touch base with him, get in here and get you a live interview with him. So those three, and several others. I might bring you one of the comrades' old ladies, and he's dead now, or his sister is what I'll do. I'll bring his sister. He's dead now. His sister knows all the ride, and she was deep into everything. you know. So I might bring her on here and chop it up and see how life went from her having a brother that was knee deep in everything, you know. Whatever it is, there's going to be some live stuff coming. We're going to get out there on the road and try to define that, what running on the spot means, this stands for. And if the if the audio, the video, and all the other O's, you know, all that fucking grando, then you know it's because I got the helm. And yeah, we're gonna get out there what we'll get out there. But I'm gonna try to make myself good at it before I leave. Sandman's gonna lend me a hand. Anyway, so that's what's going on. And you know, the ride's still around. It's a weird link with those guys, Stomper, the Mongol, and the Heshi, and all get together to kill the AB. You know, isn't life fun? Aren't you glad you're out of prison? If you're watching this, if you never went, aren't you glad you never went? If you're out, you just got out, do everything you can to stay out. It's a much better yard right here. Even though people don't get along on the internet, once they come to face, they just want to hug you. They want to hug it out. You know what I mean? Dub it out, right? But it's a better yard. It's a better place to be. And you can come up. Guaranteed. You can take all them skills you put into being an ornery, fucked up individual and put it into trying to make a good life for yourself. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it. I swear you can do it. If you expect everything to happen overnight, you're just going to wake up tomorrow morning a rich man. No, you ain't going to do that. It doesn't happen that often unless you hit the lottery. You know what I mean? You get lucky. You can play my lottery. It ain't going to make you a rich man, but you'll be able to ride away on a nice bike if you hit it. There is that. Remember the white light special? When that light comes on, bam, first 10 people to hit us with the email that's up here. You hit us with that, bam, those first 10 people for that month, they get the free lottery ticket sent to them, the free sweepstakes ticket sent to them. Now, I spent all day on Google it again. Look, this stuff is, because here's the thing, right? I'm OCD'd out the fucking frame, okay? Every little detail and everything with me. It makes things take 10 times as long to get it done. But because of that OCD, I caught myself before I was thousands and thousands of tickets into it, having duplicated some areas on some tickets. Now, wouldn't that be something? I put those tickets out there and 2 people win on one drawing. The bike, that's $80,000. That's a $40,000 hit I didn't want to take. Well, actually, it's more than that, because the $40,000 motorcycle somebody's going to win, they get to pick that. It gets bought for them. Like I said, the nonprofit will also pay their taxes. So they ride away free and clear. So somebody homeless who don't have no money, it ain't going to be like on The Price is Right. They hit a car, can't pay the taxes, have to sell the car to pay the taxes, just get a little money in their pocket. No, you can ride away on this bike free and clear because we're going to pay the taxes. And the way the law reads on those taxes is if you won the bike and you took it, I would have to withhold 25% until such a time that you paid of what that cost is, till such a time that you paid your taxes, in case you didn't. But if I agree to pay the taxes for you, then that's 33% I have to pay in for the taxes. So that $40,000, every $10,000, that's $3,300. So you got that times fucking 4, right? So 3,300 times 4, that's 12,000, what, 13 something? I mean, it's right around $13,000 extra. So that's $54,000 on the bike, tax and license and buying the bike. So it's a $40,000 win. It's going to cost $54,000. So if I had let them duplicate tickets go out and 2 people won the same fucking numbers, it's $110,000 would have had to win. I'd had to cover that just based on being legal and being right, being moral, right? I'd had to cover it. Now I would have covered it. No, because I'm not putting those out. I went through, and today I spent the day sifting through every ticket I printed, making sure I had no other duplicates in there. And it fucked me up. I'm just telling you, I'm punch drunk, Google-eyed, and stupid right now. But you know what? I'm not putting out no duplicate tickets. Not to the tune of $53,000. Hell no. And because one person can literally win every prize, if their numbers, their lottery numbers keep coming up, I could really take a beating on that whole get down. So that ain't gonna happen. My OCD. So this is one time I'm saying thanks for the OCD. I'm sure glad I got it because it made me catch it. And anyways, so there we are. That's just a little something. Somebody asked me about the Stomper thing, about what went on with Gibbons and everything, and so there it is. I threw it out there. What's going on there, and it just kind of goes to show you cats that the ride, they're around. They're not kicking up the dust they were. Yeah, I'll be honest with you on that. They're not. I mean, there was a time before they got slammed and all that went on that they were heavy handed on all the yards. Then the perfect storm came in and did what it did. And then the feds joined the perfect storm. And, so now the ride isn't on that level that it used to be, but they're still riding. They ain't slipping and sliding. I mean, this is what it is. All right, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow night. I will try to put something together. Maybe I can get an interview on here. I'm so busy with this raffle or sweepstakes and everything that, just getting over here, cutting something because I got to keep content up. You know what I mean? And it's easy to come here, sit down, not even know where I'm going to go with something and just give you the story because the bottom line is I lived it. I'm not, I get in here and I'm just hitting rewind and play. I'm going back to a moment in time, hit and play, and just letting you know what went on in my life at that time. Some people find it interesting. Some people behind the keyboard want to get on and yakety yak, and I'll talk back. That'll get down, and we get into this little thing. But there's that. So we'll see you tomorrow night, and you guys have a good one. Happy Halloween.